Welcome to the Word of the Week. Today, we're talking about suffering in silence. You know, I joined the military at a young age, showed up in the 82nd Airborne Division. That's where I really began to understand teamwork. Yes, basic training taught me how to be a soldier. I mean, really what basic training did was to break me down and then build me back up in the way the military wanted me, is to be a soldier. Yes, they taught me teamwork, but to really understand teamwork is when I showed up as a young soldier in the 82nd Airborne Division. And it was there that teamwork was really established, and it became the foundation of who I was. And then we built upon that, or I built upon that, as I became an Army Green Beret and deployed to combat multiple times, and we did it as a team, and there was nothing I did outside of a team. And so if you're married, you and your spouse are also a team. And you know, there's times when your spouse is going through something, and sometimes they'll try not to say what they're going through because it's like, I got this, I don't want anyone to know. You know, or it could just be a coworker, it can be someone at church with you, and they're going through something and they don't want anyone to know, because it's like, well, I don't want no one to know what I'm going through, because I don't want to sound weak. I mean, I want everyone to think that I got it all together. You may have it all together, but together we're better. You don't have to suffer in silence. And I have a quick example. My wife and I are going through probably something that most people would typically freak out in. In September, God opened a door and he was like, you're moving to Florida. And oh, by the way, you're going to put your house up on the market in the next couple of days. You're going to quit your jobs. You're going to move to Florida. You're going to buy property. You're going to do this. You're going to negotiate. Like, literally our entire lives are being uprooted and shifted to Florida. And friends, that has brought a bit of anxiousness, because as much as I would love to tell you that we have it all figured out, that we just trust the Lord in every scenario, the truth is there are some places in our hearts where we're trying to figure it out. We're looking for the blueprints. We're looking for the next step. And what God was doing is he was like, you don't get another step until you take this step. You don't get to see the path down. All I need you to do is be obedient. And as you're obedient with this step, then I'll give you the next one. And that for us was kind of freaking us out. It was freaking us out collectively, and it was also freaking us out individually. And, you know, recently on a Word of the Week, I talked about sensory gifts. And I talked about, you know, we have 5 senses as human beings, right? So seeing, touching, tasting, smelling, and hearing. Well, you have those gifts as well spiritually, as God begins to give them to you, or open them up to you so that you operate in them. One of the gifts that I feel that is pretty profound in my life is a sensory gift of feeling. I can feel atmospheres, I can feel things on people, I can feel oppression, and that's because as a Green Beret, my job is to go around the world and free the oppressed. One of the things that the Lord has me to do today is to free the oppressed. Well, those oppressing spirits are on people, so it's like a word of knowledge. I can sense them, and then it's an opportunity to go and to pray with that person and to kick that junk off of them so that they can walk in freedom, because the Lord doesn't want us in bondage. Well, the other day, man, I woke up like 1 a.m. and I felt like zzz, like electricity. It felt like anxiousness to the core. And I'm like, where is this? I literally had to get out of bed, start walking, and it felt like my chest was pounding, and I'm like, what is going on? I mean, I didn't go to bed feeling anxious. I don't know what was going on. And then, like, I recover from that, and the next couple days or so, I recognize as I began to start speaking with the Lord, I'm like, God, what was that? That was nuts. And I prayed, you know, I did everything I knew to do after, in praying and going to the Lord and having a conversation with him. And then I had this revelation. It wasn't you. it was your wife. And how many times, I'm a pastor, I'm a minister. A lot of times we just think that our family's got it all together too, right? Oh, she's perfect. She's got it all together. My wife doesn't typically show her outward emotions. Like she'll tell me if she's having heaviness or stress or whatever, but usually my wife is pretty mellow, and I didn't see anything that stood out to me, but inside she was a pretzel. She was all kind of bound up because she was like, when have we scheduled the movers, and what about the property there, and what about this, and what about that? Because my wife is very much is a planner, and so when she doesn't have the ability to know in advance, that throws her off. I didn't know it, I didn't recognize it, and she didn't say it until I woke up at 1 a.m. and I was feeling what she was feeling. So a couple of days later, God revealed to me that it wasn't you, it's what your wife is feeling. And I was like, oh shoot. So my wife had been suffering in silence. And I just went to her and I just said, hey, Angel, have you been feeling stressed, depression, anxiety? And she was like, yes. And I'm like, why didn't you say something? Man, my wife, I just said, please stand up. We walked away from my dogs, because if I stand next to my wife and I give her a hug or I touch my wife, my dogs go crazy because they're protecting mama, right? So we walk away and I just prayed. I laid hands on my wife and we just prayed and just broke that junk off my wife. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what your situation is, but I will tell you, you don't have to suffer in silence. There's enough people that love you. There's enough people that are equipped, that know how to wield the sword, know how to operate in the gifts of the Spirit, and know how to hear the Lord on how to bring deliverance and hope and healing in your life. And so, friends, I pray that you would, get before the Lord if you are suffering in silence and say, Lord, send a deliverer. First of all, send the Holy Spirit. Jesus, help. Remember my word of the week recently? Jesus, help. And then, Lord, put people in my life that would help me to walk through this so that I don't suffer in silence. And Lord, help me to find the scriptures in your word to combat whenever I'm feeling this way. Where is it in your word that I can quote, and so that I can combat what I'm feeling and to walk in faith with you? Friends, there's no reason for you to suffer in silence. The Lord has an army for you. So be a good soldier. You're not a lone survivor, okay? Be a good soldier, get in community, and stop suffering in silence. All right, this is the word of the week.